Hey guys, hopefully you've had a great Thanksgiving week with your family and friends. And today we're talking about gratitude. Several years ago, I heard a guy named Andy Stanley teach on this passage, and it was so powerful in my life. I wanted to share it with you guys today. The story we're looking at is in Luke chapter 17, beginning in verse 11. And this is what it says. Now, on his way to Jerusalem, Jesus traveled along the border between Samaria and Galilee. As he was going into a village, 10 men who had leprosy met him. They stood at a distance and called out in a loud voice, "Jesus, Master, have mercy on us." So Jesus is on his way to Jerusalem, and he's in between the area of Galilee and Samaria. This would have been the middle of nowhere. Nobody lived there. You've been on trips with your family or friends, and you look around and there's no homes and no businesses. You're in the middle of nowhere. And that's where Jesus was at this point. And the reason these guys were there is because they couldn't be a part of normal society, because they had this skin disease, this disfiguring disease called leprosy that made them outcast. So they had set up this community of lepers in the middle of nowhere, and they see Jesus coming, recognize him, they've heard the stories, and they call out to him for help. Look what Jesus says. It says, when he saw them, he said, "Go, show yourselves to the priest," which sounds so strange. But if you lived back then, you would understand that if you had leprosy and somehow you were miraculously healed, you just got better, and the disease went away, before you could re-enter into society, you had to go show yourself to the priest, and they had to declare you clean, that you're well again, and you can go back to your family and re-enter into society. So Jesus says, just go and show yourselves to the priest. And it says, and as they went, they were cleansed, which I think is a powerful lesson, that as they obeyed Jesus, Jesus healed them. They took the steps toward obeying him, and Jesus moved in their life. There's a lesson there too. It says one of them in verse 15, when he saw he was healed, came back, praising God in a loud voice. He threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him, and he was a Samaritan. So there's this moment when this one guy looks down, he realized, I'm healed. Like Jesus has healed me. And he's on his way to show himself to the priest, but he can't contain himself. He runs back to Jesus and falls down at his feet and just keeps thanking him over and over, because he had just given him his life back. He could go back for the first time in who knows how long and see his family. It may be his kids, and he could get a job and support his family again and just be back in society. So he was so thankful that he came back and expressed his gratitude. This is what it says next. Jesus asked, were not all 10 cleansed or healed? Where are the other 9? Has no one returned to give praise to God except this foreigner? Then he said to him, rise and go. Your faith has made you well. So Jesus makes a point to say, listen, weren't there 10 guys that were healed? Because Jesus knew they had been healed. But only one came back, and Jesus points out the problem in that. It's not that those other guys didn't feel grateful for what Jesus had did. I'm sure they told everybody they saw the rest of their lives how Jesus changed their life. But there was something important to Jesus about the fact that this one guy came back and expressed his gratitude, how he felt for what Jesus did for him. So here's the thing you have to understand. We think of gratitude simply as an emotion. And it is. It's an emotion. It's something we all feel. If you think about it, I'm sure you're grateful to your parents and grandparents, the people that take care of you, for all the things they do. They feed you, they clothe you, they give you a place to live, you have clean water, you have all the food that you want. For most of you, you've got the nicest clothes. You get your parents take you places when you need to be taken there. They love you, and you're grateful in your heart. But what we need to understand is it's not just an emotion. It needs to become an expression of an emotion. It needs to be something that we express with our lips. And this is the way I put it for myself. We must learn to communicate with our lips what we feel so strongly in our hearts. I want to say that again. We must learn to communicate how we feel with our lips, not just feel it in our hearts. So I just think that's so important that we realize that it can't just be an emotion we feel. It's got to be an expression to the people that we feel grateful for. And here's some things I think are important. This is so powerful. When it comes to relationships with your parents or parents with your kids or with your friends or anybody that you're in a relationship with, listen to this. Our hearts gravitate towards recognition and gratitude. Our hearts gravitate towards recognition and gratitude. Like there's something about it. We want to be around people that we feel like appreciate us, that are grateful for what we do in their lives and the part that we play in their lives. There's something about our hearts that gravitate towards when we have recognition and gratitude. That's why you're with the friends that you're with, probably. That's why some of you are involved in sports or band, because you gravitate towards things that make you feel appreciated, people that make you feel like they recognize the talent that you have or just who you are as an individual. Our hearts gravitate towards that. So it's important for us to understand that when we express our gratitude, we are actually pulling people closer to us. So if you've got some issues with somebody relationally, maybe the first step is you express your gratitude for what they do. That's just a thought. Another thing that I want to point out in the story is that the one leper went back to thank the one that helped him move forward in his life. Like, think about that. That one leper that went back, he went back because Jesus helped him get to the point he could move forward in his life. Now, this is what I want you to understand, whether you're an adult or a student, that you didn't get to where you are by yourself. Some of us like to think we do. Some of us act like we're the person that's responsible, the only person responsible for where we are in life. But there are plenty of people that have helped you to get where you are, that have sacrificed for you, that have given up things for you, that have driven you places, that have paid for things, that have poured into you, they've coached you. And we need to understand that we need to go back to those people because they're the ones that have helped us to move to where we are in our lives. We've got to express our gratitude. So my question is, who do you need to express your gratitude to? Who is it that you need to go back to and say thank you? I just think that's a powerful question that all of us need to answer. That what are we going to do this week to identify who we're grateful for? That shouldn't be too hard. And then do something to communicate it, not just to feel it in our hearts, whether that's you recording a video and sending it to your parents or a coach or a teacher or a Sunday school teacher, or whether it's to actually go to them face to face and say, hey, I really appreciate what you've done for me. I wouldn't be who I am without you. I'm just telling you, that could change a relationship if you would do that. So my encouragement to you is to realize that we've got to learn to express the feelings of gratitude that we have in our heart. We've got to find a way to do that. We must learn to communicate with our lips what we feel so strongly in our hearts. So I challenge you to do that this week, and I hope to see you guys really soon.